Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rafael Serja with student number of 060112825 342. So in today's video I'm going to talk about consonant. Yeah, I will give an example and try to explain how we do this sound. So for the first thing is we got p sound like in pen. So how we do that? Your both lips touch or get close together with the sound, whereby fully blocking the air as it lifts the body. Next, we move to the b sound like in bend. So it's just the same thing with the like the previous one. Next, we move to the m sound like in man. So how we do that? So both lips touch or get close together with the sound made by releasing sound through the nose. Yeah. Next, we move to the first sound, like in white or like white. Yeah, white. So how we do that? So basically, we just touch lips like this together with a smooth vowel like sound made without full contact, like white, white. Yeah, like that. Next, we move to the the sound, like in this. So how we do that? Basically, the tip of the tongue touches the upper teeth, like this, with the sound made by squeezing air through a small gap. Next, we move with the sound, like in throat. How we do that? Yeah, it's just the same like the previous one. Next, we move to the sound, like in tour. So how we do that? So the tip of the tongue touches the orofarinx with the sound made by fully blocking the air as it lifts the body. Next, we move to the the sound, like in dubbed. It is just the same thing with the previous one. Next, we move to the S sound, like in sword. How we do that? So the tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge with a sound made by squeezing A to a small gap. Next, we move to the Z sound, like in zebra. It is the same thing like the previous one. Next, we move to the N sound, in like in gone. N, gone, N, gone. Yeah. So how we do that? So the tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge with the sound made by releasing sound through the nose, like corn, gone. Next, we move to the L sound, like in ball. So how we do that? So the tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge with the sound released through the sides of the tongue, like ball, ball, ball. Yeah, like that. Next, we move to the sound, like in dish. Oh, am I doing it right? Oh, no, like a sound like in dish. Yeah, like that. So basically, the tongue is slightly beyond the alveolar ridge with a sound made by squeezing out air through a small gap. Yeah, like dash, dash. Next, we move to the S sound, like in sneeze. Yeah. How we do that? So it is just the same thing like the previous one. Next, we move to the code, to the t sound, like, yeah, t t sound, like in coach. So how we do that? So the tongue is slightly behind the alveolar ridge with a sound that is a plosive directly followed by a fricative. Next we move to the, what is the, I forgot. Wait, wait. So, yeah, yeah, it's like in jump. So how we do that? So the tongue is slightly behind the alveolar ridge with a sound that is plosive directly followed by a fricative. Yeah, it's the same thing like the previous one. Next we move to the yeah, yeah sound, like in yap. So the middle part of the tongue approach the hot tail. Hot, how is that? Wait, wait, wait. I just like that. So middle part of the tongue approaches the hot plate with smooth, flower-like sound made without full contact. Maybe that's all the things that I know. Thank you for watching. Bye.